Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome back to another YouTube stream. Been a little while since we've done an intraday live stream, so I wanted to get on here with you guys. It's Friday. Been a little while. Awesome. It's about 70 people. Looks like we got a full house in here at the Equities Open. Excellent. Malik, welcome to the live stream. Great to have you. Christopher, at last, a YouTube live stream. Haven't forgot about the YouTube community, brother. We just had my hands full between mentorship clients and Signals group as well, but all business has been handled there, so make some time for the YouTube group. Andres, is anyone here profitable at trading? That is a good question. Malik, I'm happy if my mentor gave me live link stream for learning. Yeah, there you go. There's the YouTube stream. Justice, thank you, D, for letting us in. Absolutely. Anita, hit that like button, everyone. Absolutely. Please do. Good morning, Anita. Hope you're doing good. Hatim, good morning, brother. Matthew, bias bearish, intermediate term high of the session, priced in with SMT. Yeah, gonna be watching some of the same things, Matthew. We're gonna be watching some of the same things. Matthew, LOL, Dylan, watching himself. Yeah, it's actually how I access the live channel. I'm not very techy, so I don't know how to pull it up on OBS or anything, so I just look at it on my phone. Sometimes the audio comes through. Grisha, hello. Hope you're doing well. Ahmed, happy to find the time for this one. Glad to have you, Ahmed. Ghost FX, like the video. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Carla, good morning. Matthew, just slept through my flight. Good deal. Nice and well rested here for the AM session. Mike, long or short, sir? We'll see. We'll get into that business. We'll get into that business here in a moment. Sergio, hola, Dylan. Buenos días. Buenos días, Sergio. Let me get the link sent out here. So while I'm getting the link sent out, if looks like we got a full house in here. Where's everyone tuning in from today? Andre, South Florida. Good deal. Florida's not a bad place. Love it here. Actually, we just went for my morning walk a few minutes ago, and the weather is lovely here in Florida. I was just thinking, man, if I wasn't here on YouTube with you guys, I'd probably be on my way to the beach right now. But that's how much I enjoy the YouTube community. Look, I'm even pushing the beach back to hang out with you guys for the morning session. All right, South Florida, Iran. All right, Reaper, good deal. Iran. Hello from Iran. Vietnam. Good deal. Venice, Italy. Beautiful place. Ralph, you don't go live as often anymore. Yeah, unfortunately, the YouTube community's been have to put to the back burner because I got to teach my mentorship group a life-changing skill set. And then I got to make Signals clients money. So that gets in the way of my YouTube time. But when I teach mentorship group more than they can possibly fit in their head in a week, and then Signals clients banking by Thursday, so I'm able to have some extra free time. So that's why I'm coming out here with you guys on Friday. Like I said, I could have just taken a long weekend because I would have, because like I said, mentorship group handled, Signals group absolutely banking, and I crushed my weekly goals. So weekly goals blown out of the water on Thursday. So I'm not even trading today. I'm really just here hanging out with you guys. So like I said, I could be doing other things, but I wanted to hop on here with the YouTube community and enjoy with you guys this lovely morning session we're about to have. Cody, Boston, good deal. Anita, Florida, awesome. Croatia, Zimbabwe, welcome. Hello to the folks in Zimbabwe. Grisha, Hong Kong as usual, absolutely. Putting in the late night one today. Chris, UK, good deal. Quite a few folks from UK here. Saeed, UAE, good deal. London, Sweden, nice. All right, full group in here. Thanks for sharing, guys. Awesome. So with that, we'll get into today's session and what it is I'm looking for. We got the equities open here in a few minutes. We'll see what we got. Reaper, I'm always up on your live streams after ICT himself. I like you the most. Appreciate that, Reaper. Thank you. Matthew, Texas, and California. Good deal. Beautiful states. Beautiful states. All right, so daily chart looking at NASDAQ. So I was interested to see this week. This is going to be a short one. We have the high to low. We traded into equilibrium and into this daily fair value gap here. I wanted to see how we traded here Wednesday going into Thursday. And then Thursday, they used earnings to reprice it higher into the buy side. And they left these equal highs here. So once we saw the shift in order flow, now working our way into the, well, actually, probably go down to the hourly chart. That black line that I have extended through, that's thick, that's the opening price of this down close candle. And I'm studying how we traded that at that key level. So just don't get confused as to what that black line is. That's the bullish order block opening price. Joe, good morning, team. Hope you're doing good. Malik, all the way from Pakistan. Good deal. All right, so this is that daily bullish order block that I'm watching here on the daily chart. But as I said, when we opened the week here on Monday, we showed bullish market structure and bullish order flow. So that traded us nicely into a short-term premium. And then I wanted to see again how we traded there. And then from there, we broke down. And then the order flow was bearish until it shifted yesterday, right? So we got a shift in market structure, shift in order flow, breaker, found support. And then, like I said, they left equal highs on the hourly chart that you can see here, right? So this high, you see how they're perfectly equal. And then they dropped it, getting people to see this as resistance. And they used the earnings to reprice it up into those buy stops. All right, so we're in that daily bullish order block right now. I want to see how we trade at that key level. One thing to note as well is we have an SMT at the highs. Dollar is strong. So just as I use dollar on the higher time frames, I also use it in my intraday trading as well. So we have dollar here. We took out these lows, relatively equal lows, purged. And now we're showing bullish institutional order flow. So if dollar's going to keep trading higher, I want to see it get above this short-term high here. And if we start to accelerate to the upside, then that would be bullish. I mean, I'm obviously bullish for dollar, but obviously bearish foreign currency and indices. So looking at dollar, gonna expect higher expansion. Like to see the way that we're being supported inside this daily fair value gap in here, right? Wicks can color outside, that's fine. The bodies tell the true story. So as long as we get expansion here to the upside, then I'll continue looking for higher prices on dollar. And then that's going to facilitate lower prices for stock indices. So it's just a matter of weighing these factors out. So that's what I'm looking at on DXY. Man, I know the YouTube community, you guys are high speed. High speed in the sense that you guys already know what's up. I can refer to all this information. You guys already know what we're talking about because all the work we do on Sundays and whatnot. So good deal there. So looking at higher prices on dollar. So again, that's going to put pressure on indices, of course. So looking at the SMT at the highs, where here ES took out its high, broke down. NASDAQ was unable to do so. So we have the 930 open. We just had the equities open. So I'm watching that SMT at the highs. If that can hold, we could potentially see lower prices. If we find support in this imbalance here and this daily bullish order block, which is that black line, if we start to show support in there and start to turn higher, then that would give me different information to work with, and then I'd have to pivot. So we'll go into the lower time frames, see what we get. Opening with a slight gap down on S&P and NASDAQ, so relatively unchanged. Opening with a relatively small gap. So let's go through the time frames. 15-minute chart. Lil, no way you're live. Yes, sir. We are live. We are live. Joe from New York. Good deal. Matthew expecting no Judas swing. Yeah, we'll see what we get here at the open. So again, we have a key SMT at the highs, seeing strength in dollar. NASDAQ's rejecting its new week opening gap that we're trading in right now. So on the 8:30 news, they ran it higher first into the buy stops. Took out the buy stops, SMT at the highs, and now they're breaking it down. And then again, as long as we get that strength in dollar, I'm expecting indices to sell off. My man Matthew here already covering the bearish bias. Bias is bearish. Intermediate term high of the session priced in with SMT. Good deal, Matthew. Uh, Already ahead of me, brother. I guess you can tell who's trained with me, right? All right, so 15-minute chart. Looking at S&P on one of my other screens here. S&P did run above its high and sweep its buy side. So because Nasdaq wasn't able to do that, it is the weaker asset. Also seeing the SMT occurring at a key level. So daily chart, the SMTs happen for ES inside of its daily fair value gap here. So inside of a key premium level. So what I'm monitoring on S&P is the same thing I'm monitoring on Nasdaq, which is how we trade inside this down close candle, right? If we start to displace through it on NQ as well, then we'll likely see lower prices. And then we're already starting to trade through it on ES. And then again, the main takeaway is the SMT at the highs inside that key level, right? It's more about where the market's creating these key SMTs than the SMT in and of itself. All right, so back to NQ. So like I said, we were in a consolidation range since the 8:30 news. So we had 8:30 news, they pumped it higher into the buy side, key SMT, and then they broke it down. So as of right now, we're seeing bearish institutional order flow. We have a breaker here, high, higher, high, hit the breaker, sell off. So I'm going to be patient here in the open, let the first 30 minutes play out. I'll stay on here with you guys for the silver bullet hour. So we'll see what we get. See what we get for the 10 o'clock hour. See if we can get a nice clean one-sided price run. And then if we can get that, it'll be just lovely going off into the weekend. I won't be trading today. Like I said, I hit my rules or hit my goals, and I have to have rules with what I do as well. So, you know, once I meet my goals, once I hit what I'm looking for, then I'm done for that week. So again, that's why we're here on the YouTube. Layout, I don't think the SMT will hold. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They could very well reprice it up into those highs, which is why we're sitting and watching. Here's the great thing about trading, right? You don't make any money being right, and you don't lose any money being wrong. It's all about how you manage your trades. And you can tell a lot by where people are at in their development. If they're still focused on being right and wrong, or who's calling what, that's how you know it's still got a long way to go. Because, man, this shit isn't about being right. This is about making money. And the clowns that are still worried about who's right, who's talking about what, man, that's how you know they're making no money. Because the truth is, the bias every day is bullish and bearish, right? Bulls make money and bears make money. So what's there to chat about, right? All right, so let's get into the trading layout here. So we traded down into that daily bullish order block key level that I took your attention to. And then again, that's why it's at key level, because I want to see how we trade there. And then we see the market aggressively displacing away, right? So strong displacement, short-term high violated. Sorry, I'm trying to see if that's an intermediate term high. Yeah, so we broke an intermediate term high to the upside. So what I'll be interested to see in here, and right now the 5-minute structure is relatively sloppy. We also have news at 10, which is why I'm being relatively patient for the first 30 minutes of trading. So looking at the 1-minute chart in here, traded down, sell stops taken out, hit the bullish order block, and then we displaced higher and broke market structure to the upside. So what I'm going to want to see if does this hold, and do we continue to trade higher? Because now we also have relatively equal highs here if it wants to turn bullish, right? So it's just a matter of weighing out the order flow, seeing where we're at. I don't have the clearest daily bias right now, right? Because we're at equilibrium of the dealing range. We're at 50%. So right now, I'm really using also today to get more insight going into next week's trading. But even the nice thing is, as scalpers, there's always fresh bread. There's always new money in the markets. So even if it's not crystal clear daily bias, if you know what you're looking for in terms of intraday volatility, you know, you can find scalps that will give you, you know, 40, 60, 80, even 100 points if you know what you're looking for in terms of intraday volatility. So on the 5-minute chart, watching the down close candle here, see if that's going to support price higher. But again, I'm not interested in anything until 10 o'clock because this thing can just chop around and beat traders up. That's why I'm not impulsive or impatient when I'm looking to do my trade. I wanted to reprice higher, holding the swing from the bottom. Good deal, man. Should have some nice profits on that swing. Well done. Right, so I'm gonna extend. All right, so I'm gonna see if this breaker can support price here. We traded down, cleared the buy stops, displaced away from this daily bullish order block. But I'm just studying. Again, this is nothing I would put a trade on. If it's something I would put a trade on, I'll let you know. And again, I don't even have I'm not even logged into my brokers today. Just a relaxed tape reading session. And especially after having a large range yesterday, I'm being relatively patient this morning as well. Again, I'm not in any hurry to do anything. Once you've collected the bag, there's no need to stress. Matthew, so we could expect that fair value gap to not be traded into? Yeah, it doesn't have to trade down into this fair value gap because that breaker's there. So what I would do in this instance, if it's your model specifically, Matthew, if it's your model to wait for that fair value gap, or like wait for a 1 minute fair value gap, then this just may be an instance where you miss the setup. As you get better, Matthew, and we keep doing what we're doing, and you grow in your understanding, well, you'll be able to just say this, well, there's no inefficiency on the 1 minute chart, but I'm going to go into the time frame that does have what I'm looking for. And you drop right down into your 30-second. And now you see how that's exactly what you'd be looking for, Matthew. So whenever I always keep reiterating, experience is going to dictate when you can take more trades, this is exactly what I mean. My experience tells me there's no FVG on the 1 minute chart. And it's not going to come down into that one, right? And you know why? Because obviously we've been working together for a long time. So you know why it's not going to fill that FVG. So the way I would teach you is focus on one model. Again, if your model's the fair value gap on the 1 minute chart, this is a mistrade. As you get better, as you study more, as you get more experience, like I said, you're going to be able to drop down to the 30-second because what I look at it as, okay, this time frame doesn't have the imbalance I'm looking for. My experience tells me, okay, I'll go into the time frame that does have it. And that's what? The 30-second chart. So you see how now that's the same model, just one fractal lower, but it's experience that's going to teach you that. Make sense, Matthew? Futures, we have a 10 a.m. news at 10 a.m. too. Yeah, exactly. That's also what I'm waiting for as well. Waiting for that 10 a.m. news. So we get the breaker here, repricing into the buy stops here. So if we stay accelerated on the upside, we could make a run into these highs there. There you go, Matthew. So that's one of the things that I also share as well. That's why I never have a concern with getting into a trade because I'm not boxed into a few models. Like if I wanted to get in that run and scalp into those highs, man, the volatility is pretty open right now on a 45-point run. That's not bad, not bad. But also, again, important knowing just what it is that you're looking for, right? So if I'm looking for a run into these highs here, and there's a breaker and a fair value gap, it's going to be supported there. So that could be like a scalp from here into the highs. But again, one of the reasons that just being patient this morning is because you see we're whipsawing right now. And that's, again, into anticipation of the 10 o'clock news and also considering, again, we had a large range yesterday. So that could be potentially problematic for the morning session. And it's already setting up potential seek and destroy as well. So I want to see what structure we have here going into the news. But again, even just that, breaker into the buy side. That's a scalp if you are a scalper, right? You would buy the discount and sell the premium. And just like I would teach my private group, that makes money every day of the week. And you don't even need the full run. And 40 points, that'd pay you more than a day job could. Met first W posted in Telegram chat. Just scalp, good deal. Yeah, I like the live trade executions. There's not many that do that, and it's for a reason. A lot of these guys don't really do what they say on the left side on the right side of the chart. It's funny how that works. All right, so watching dollar still looking strong inside its daily fair value gap, not repricing aggressively by any means, but still holding its bullish institutional order flow. So we got the news here in about 18 minutes. Go up to our higher time frame, get our bearings. It's really easy to get excited on the lower time frame. So far on the 15-minute chart, we've done nothing, right? It's just been whipsawing back and forth. So again, that's what I want to wait for the news for. Many times when there's two news drivers, one at 8:30 and one at 10, I've seen in my experience that it can consolidate, and it can many times do a two-stage delivery, right? Like a first fake move, and then the real move comes after 10 o'clock. So those are my two observations that I've noticed over my time on days with two high impact news drivers, is that particular characteristic. So again, that's why I'm being patient here in these first 30 minutes of trading. Want to see what they do in the opening range. Shout out to Earl for getting funded. I was not aware my man Earl got funded. Let me see, maybe I'm missing something. If you're talking from the Telegram from the Discord channel, Matthew, I think you're talking about my man Rich. I believe so. If Earl just did get funded though, then congratulations. But I believe you're talking about my man Rich. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, man, awesome stuff, brother. It's awesome stuff. Love to see the team eating. And like I was having a discussion with my man Rich yesterday, it's a good feeling, right? Especially when you put in all that work to get to that point, right? Because I know this long enough. I've been in this trading business long enough to know if you find success in your trading, it's because you worked your ass off for it and you deserve it, because man, nothing in these markets comes easy, and if you're finding success, it's because you absolutely deserve it and you've been working your ass off. So love to see the people that have been putting in the work in the community getting the results and the consistency they deserve, because it's not easy, and if you're sticking it out, good on you. So yeah, huge shout out to my man Rich. Got people getting funded, people getting paid out, all kinds of things. So you can call it the Dora Trading private Discord. You can just call it the winner's table, whatever you want to call it. Because here we focus on results and winning. That's all that matters. The chit chats for everyone else. But here at Dora Trading, we don't really focus on chit chat. It's all results, handling business. Waleed, how much in the signals group cost and what's the win rate? Yeah, those details are all on our website, my man. But yeah, I'll get to that later. Yeah, absolutely, Anita. It's exciting. Congrats, Rich. It's a great community atmosphere. Everyone, feeds off each other's success. Everyone's getting better. Everyone's growing, and everyone's, changing their life. So no better community to be in, and other than one that's uplifting, positive, and growth oriented. Chris, which firm is better? That's really up to you, my man. That's a good question. I get that asked a lot. Well, there's a few firms, and it really depends on what it is you're trying to do. Everyone has different trading styles, strategies. You may be trading the same thing, but maybe your risk management's different. And what my advice to you would be, look at the rules on all those firms, understand them deeply, and then from there you'll be able to make an informed decision as to which one suits what you're doing better. Like for example, the best ones are going to be either My Funded Futures or Top Step. Apex is good. They have like a trailing drawdown rule, but it's all about managing it the right way, right? So if you are trading Apex, then you just have to know, all right, you can't over leverage, you have to size down, right? But if that's not, really what you want to do, then My Funded Futures or Top Step would be the best. But yeah, that would be my two recommendations: Top Step, My Funded Futures, and then then this isn't an official recommendation. Please do your own research. That's why I don't like to affiliate myself with these funds and stuff, just because, yeah, you guys see what happened with, all these other prop firms and the affiliates with them. And that's why I don't want to put myself under that pressure or that, not that pressure, that stress of these companies attached to my image and my name and what I'm doing. So Top Step is a solid one. I promote them, I affiliate with them, but that's about it. Just because, yeah, got to be careful. Who'd you say? Top Step and My Funded Futures? Yeah, Tanya. Those would be the ones I would recommend, just because the rules. Apex has I don't know. I call it like scammy rules, but it's just really tight trailing drawdown, right? So to me, it's ridiculous because if you're in a trade, let's say you're up 1,000 unrealized, and then you close it out at like plus 200. Well, now your trailing drawdown is going to factor in that $800. So now if you just take another stop out, you lost the challenge. So if you want to trade those, you have to size down. The only way, in my opinion, it would be worthwhile doing Apex would be doing multiple, right? So like 5 accounts, 10 accounts, and then just doing little by little. That's the only way I could ever see it being worth my time. But that's why I prefer Top Step or My Funded Futures. But Apex is good. Money's money, and if they're going to give it to you and you know how to manage it, then it's a good opportunity. But you just gotta be cautious. One thing I always tell my private community is you get what you pay for. So if you're paying really cheap challenges, there's probably a reason for that. Whereas if you're paying more reasonable price, then there's probably a reason for that as well. So just some things you learn over time. Julio, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing good, my man. Handling business, sliding on the live stream. Glad to have you, brother. Anita, for $46, it's worth trying. Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes they run like 80% discount. I think you can get it even for like $30. $30 for like a 50K account. Buy 5 of them, buy 10 of them, and you're talking some bank now, just doing a few $100 a day. With low risk, low leverage. And from what I've learned, that's the secret to Apex. If you want to beat Apex, you have to be disciplined, trade small, and be consistent in what you're doing. And everyone that has found success in Apex that I know, that I talk to, that's the way they've made payouts in Apex. Not rushing it, not being in a hurry. That just doesn't work for that firm. And they know what they're doing, right? These companies aren't, they're not dumb. They know what they're doing with their rules. They know how to get those reset fees coming in. It's not their first day in business, I'll say that. But again, if you know how to trade, then again, it's a phenomenal opportunity. So I don't want you guys to think I'm shitting on prop firms or anything, because I'm not. I think they're a good opportunity. Live capital, your own money should always be the goal, of course, but it's definitely a good opportunity to leverage. All right, so in about 10 minutes here, we have the news. Again, we've been talking, market's just been painting up and down, right? There's nothing here that's of interest to me in the lower time frame. We're still staying above the breaker. There, it did tag into that fair value gap, Matthew, so I guess you would have been able to get a fill in your model. But just staying in the range, right? And in the range, trading isn't really my favorite. So just because it can chop, consolidate, and just do a lot of wonky things. So as of right now, the order flow is remaining bullish. We traded down into that daily bullish order block. We displaced away. Down close candle here on the 5-minute chart. Told you guys I'd want to watch that, see how we trade inside this down close candle, and it's doing what? It's showing support, right? Unable to get down below it. So what's that telling me? The order flow is underlyingly bullish. So down close candle here. That traded into this down close, so that would be what, a propulsion candle, right? So it hits it off to the races. So if we close above this daily fair value gap here, which is what this purple rectangle is, closure above consequent encroachment sends us up into the buy side here. Anita, every day the code is save now, LOL. Good deal. Tick trader, I'm not sure what that is. Tanya, thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Glad I was able to cover your question. Joshua, I have 5 Top Step X accounts. They had a deal where they were $5 each. That's awesome, man. Good deal. 50K accounts. That's awesome. Yeah, the opportunities these prop firms have, to access that capital for that, price, it's phenomenal. So daily fair value gap here looks like we're getting some strength up through that. So based off what I'm seeing, may want to look to clean out these equal highs here. So again, just running both sides of the range, higher and lower. So classic seek and destroy also. Dustin, what's up, brother? Hey, man. Hope you're doing good, my man. Good to see you. Good to see the familiar names in here. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm not relatively interested in anything until we get to the news. We're just chopping back and forth, which is again why we're here, having discussion about other things, waiting for the news to hit. I'm at 2 scalps taken from that breaker, 3 micros with 40 points bagged, posted in Telegram for proof. Good deal, Ahmed. Nice to see the trading, brother. There's money to be made every day, and good thing is, right, let's say you're buying the breaker and you're expecting to go higher. Use that 30-second fair value gap I took your attention to. That can be your entry. And does it give 60 points? It does. And you got a 70-point run there. Beautiful. Doesn't even need to get to those highs, and you're absolutely paid. And that's the best way to trade. Partials pay every time. Then nice fair value gap here, hitting that, trading to the last down close candle, off to the races. So what I'm watching now, this 1 minute inefficiency and midnight open price, see if we can stay supported there and make a run into the buy side potentially. Waleed, top step is really shit because one micro is the same as one e-mini. Yeah, I feel you, brother. Yeah, I don't trade micros. Well, actually, take that back. I do on one account. But so for me, that it's not really an issue because I'm not working with the micro contract. But yeah, I see how that could be difficult for someone that does want to trade the micro. So yeah, that is a drawback as well. So again, that's why it's important to look at the rules because there's a lot of things to be considered. As my man Waleed is saying, the issue with Top Step is they don't factor the weight of a mini compared to a micro. They look at it as one contract, which obviously is ridiculous, right? Because a micro is nowhere near a mini. But so if you do want to trade micros, they look at micros and minis the same way. So for the scaling rule, if you're only allowed to trade 2 contracts or 3 contracts, that applies to micros as well, which is unfortunate. So again, that's why there's different things to weigh out whenever you're choosing your prop firm, because they all have good things and bad things. For me, I'm not really focused on micros, so it's not an issue for me, right? So it's just all about what you're doing and where you're at. So 1 minute fair value gap here, market found support and at the midnight opening price. So midnight open, fair value gap support, and then we have a buy side liquidity pool here. I need to take Top Step serious account. Apex is more like play with. There you go. Gotta have good balance. Joshua, I passed 3 of them with your concepts. Withdrew enough to be considered profitable, then blew all 3 quite recently. Lost confidence, and now I'm back to pass the other 2. Sounds like a lot of traders' journey, Matthew. Joshua. A lot of back and forth. Making progress, taking steps back, making progress, taking step back. Just know that's how the journey goes, Joshua. Just keep your head up. My advice is whenever someone just gets funded or just recently acquires a new account, or you're starting to trade a new live account, the best thing to do is just take it slow. I know nobody wants to hear that. Everyone wants to focus on, making money. How can I make the most? Big payouts. But trust me, that's what every loser is doing. Everybody that loses in trading is trying to make a lot of money way too quick. And if you boil it down, that is the root cause of every single losing trader. There's no other reason than that. So every losing trader is unprofitable because of trying to make too much too quick. So if we know, all right, the herd mentality is let's push it. It's casino time. Let's run up a lot of money. If that's what the 95% losers are doing, then what do we want to do as the apex predators, as the one that are in here making money? Well, we want to do the opposite. So we want to take it slow. We want to focus on building good habits. We want to focus on a process, right? Because there's an end goal and then there's a process. So that process gets you to your end goal. But if you're just focused on the end goal, what are you not focused on? You're not focused on the process. So by focusing on each stage of the process that's going to get you to your end goal, then you're able to get the results you want in a quicker way by focusing on the right things. So that's my advice to everybody that is starting a new account, just got funded, is take it slow. Take it slow. Don't be in a hurry, and just prioritize that risk management in what you're doing. Because again, that's where everybody blows it. So if we know that, then we want to make conscious steps to not do that. Fake profit trader is really good too. Yeah, from what I've seen, there's quite a few firms that are popping up all over the place. So, sorry guys, they took it down. We got news here in about a minute and a half, so I'm gonna wind down the chat discussion and get into it. Same day payouts, no activation fee, good deal. Dustin, do you size the same per trade, or do you cut risk on drawdown? Yeah, I absolutely do. Whenever I take a loss, I cut risk in half. And my risk management, I've said this many times before, my risk management is actually what keeps me profitable. It's not my sharp edge and, you know, my my armory of 30 weapons that I can bring out in the markets. You know, that helps me get into trades and find winning trades. But what actually keeps me profitable is my risk management. So that's actually the biggest part as to why I'm consistent in live accounts, why I take consistent payouts. And it's because of my risk management. So that is actually the biggest component as to why I'm a profitable trader. And when I wasn't profitable, it was when I had no risk management. When I got risk management, you start trading like a professional, and then you start to get professional results, right? It's all about, trading's all about, you know, what you put into it, you know? So if you treat it like a business, if you treat it like a high level enterprise, well, then it'll respect you like a high level enterprise and give you money, right? If you treat it like, you know, you're a kid at Chuck E. Cheese here in America is like an arcade thing where kids go to play, go crazy, put coins in, you know, do all kinds of shit. A lot of what our trading looks like, right? So if our trading looks like, you know, a kid in an arcade, you know, who's just, you know, all hopped up, you know, you're going to get those types of results, you know? So it's all about what you put into it. So yeah, absolutely. Risk management is big, and I do cut losers as I'm in drawdown, and then I wait to make that drawdown back until I'm able to size back up. And again, that is one of the biggest factors that contribute to my consistency. All right, so we got the news hitting the wires here at 10 o'clock. We're inside this daily fair value gap. We're in the upper portion. We closed above the daily fair value gap upper portion. So what I'm seeing right now, likely warrants a run on the buy side. So we have the buy side liquidity. Let me label that. And then we'll see if we can get up there. Again, I have no trades on, so I don't have any horse in the race. My trade would have been down here. I would have longed the breaker. But we'll see if it can run into that high. For me, this isn't too deep of a premium to go long. I would have had to have gone long here, where we trade down into. So this is how I teach to trade. If you're bullish, wait for it to drop down into a higher time frame discount array. What's higher time frame? Daily, weekly. This is a daily bullish order block. And then you wait for a reaction, right? The market's going to show its hand. And we get that here, right? What is the showing of the hand? What's a displacement? As soon as we get a displacement, and then remember I was classifying this here as a intermediate term high here and here. Mentorship group knows exactly what we're talking about. But that's a key high that's broken. So that key high broken at this key time of day, after trading into this key level, that's why we see the changing in the state of delivery. And we get into a buy program. Right? So there's an order block, fair value gap breaker, off to the races. And then we need it not to get here to be profitable. Just the run up into the premium makes money. So we'll see what we get here. Again, we're just 2 minutes into the 10 o'clock hour. So we'll see what structure we get here in the silver bullet window and see if we can get another clean price run. Tyler, or Momentum Trader, they'll fix micros ratio at some point. I think they already did it on Top Step X, but not 100% sure. Yeah, I heard they were gonna fix that at some point. Top Step X does it now. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Tanya. Thanks, Pelican. Yeah, good to know. So they did fix it. Oh, so it's an incentive to get them to use Top Step X. Yeah, so Top Step X is their proprietary. It's almost like a TradingView. So it's like a TradingView, but I guess Top Step built in themselves, and you can trade their challenges through I guess Top Step X, and it's like their proprietary, like their own broker, I guess. Not broker, but platform to put trades through. Yeah, that makes sense though, Tyler, as to how they'd be getting an incentive to get people to join Top Step X because they want people on their platform, right? Not Tradeivate or Quant Tower and whatnot. So that makes sense. All right, so daily fair value gap, as long as we remain supported here, I suspect we're going to attack the buy side. But again, really slow action today. Also want to note this key level here. So this down close candle, it's digging down into that for reaccumulation. But the fact that it's staying above consequent encroachment, right? So the fact that we have this daily fair value gap, one thing that that we look for in people that are versed in algorithmic price theory, one of the signatures that we look for is for it to get up into the upper portion. Because if it can do that, that means it's what? It's bullish. So if it's in the upper portion, we want to see it stay above the upper portion, right? So the fact that it's still finding support here, if I was in this trade, I'd still be holding something, seeing if I can get a run into that high. I'd already be paid out, partialed on the run, because I firmly believe in taking partials, because it may not get up here. It may not get up here, right? So being able to pay yourself regardless is huge. So staying inside the upper portion of the fair value gap, down close candle here. Market's respecting that beautifully. And then we have the fair value gap here that overlaps with the midnight open, which is real support and resistance in line with the narrative. So you guys see when we first joined on and I was looking at dollar, looking at risk on, risk off, I initially was looking for lower prices based off what I was seeing. But I was just looking for lower prices into the bullish order block. And I wanted to see how he traded there. So if it's from a standpoint of being right, like, oh, he was bullish or he was bearish and then now it went up. But you see how we're able to pivot. Once we get new information, we're able to pivot because we know what we're looking for, right? So being right in trading means nothing. It's all about, are you managing your trade and making money? Joshua, thanks, Dad. I can assure you, I'm nobody's father. Tanya, risk management is key. I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Anyone that's been in this business long enough, or if you stay in this business long enough, you'll eventually always come to the conclusion that the risk management is the holy grail. It is the secret. Yeah, sloppy action right now. Looking at S&P, wanted to see if it could get up into its high, but it's unable to. So now this I would close out. Like if I was long from here, I would close out here. I wouldn't like it anymore because we have a fair value gap order block and there's a daily fair value gap. We violated that to the downside. So that would tell me it's no good anymore because we just violated several key levels on the downside. So a trade that would have been entered in a discount would be closed out up here now. So that's how I'd be looking at it. And that's why, again, partials are really helpful, right? Because if you demand to get up here to pay yourself, you know, you'd be hating life right now, right? So it's all about knowing what you're looking for. And not that I've changed bearish, there's still equal highs here, right? That hasn't changed the narrative for me if you go up to a higher time frame. And again, that's why it's important to refer to different time frames to not get excited on the 1 minute, right? Because what looks like, man, the 1 minute is cratering, it's just the 5 minute trading down into a fair value gap, right? But because I manage my trades on the 1 minute, that'd be it. I'd be happy with that. I'd close it out and I'd be content. If I wanted to hold for a big range, which today wouldn't really be it. It's a Friday. We're in the middle of the range. I don't have huge lofty expectations for price action today, right? So I'm being relatively patient, and I'd be relatively conservative in my trade management. So I'd be content with that. But dropping down to the 5 minute fair value gap, I'm still finding support here. So order flow remains bullish on the 5 minute chart. And then again, they left these equal highs here, and here intact. So likely gonna see it run into those highs. Looking at dollar's just crawling higher. Dylan, check ES. Take that swing where that measuring gap is exactly at equilibrium. Yeah, I got my measurement going. You talking about the 1 minute chart, Julio? Yeah, perfect measuring gap. Yeah, good deal. Exactly. So let me show you guys what my man Julio's talking about. So looking for higher prices on ES and NQ into the buy side, right? So if we expect ES to trade here, it's called an implied dealing range from here. So that measuring gap, the fact that they leave that gap open at 50% is just additional confirmation that they're likely going to want to take it into this high, right? It doesn't guarantee it, but it puts the probabilities of your trade through the roof that it's likely to get up here if you start to see those algorithmic signatures. Yeah, good observation, Julio. Seeing the same, brother. Looking for S&P to trade up into its highs as well. Julio, crazy that lesson you taught us opened my eyes so much. Yeah, man. The precision that's available, brother. It's on a whole nother level, man. Whole nother level. Glad to see it though, Julio. And seeing it real time, not only, right? So it's one thing to be able to see things in hindsight, but it's a whole another thing to be able to see it real time over live price action, right? And be able to map those things out. So well done there, brother. So looking at NASDAQ, there's that high there. And then going to look for this one here. But yeah, Julio, definitely much more to come, brother. Much more to come in terms of insight. But yeah, man, when you start to see, the precision that's available, how these things come together day in, day out, man, it just gives you a whole nother perspective on price action, brother. Ralph, do you recommend entering a trade before 10 a.m.? I don't get financial advice, Ralph. So I don't advise anything with your trades. No, I'm just messing with you. I know what you're asking. So for you particularly, you have to do again what's in line with your risk management, what's in line with your parameters and protocols. I don't have any fear entering before news. If I know what I'm looking for, like here, I can enter here and just let the 10 o'clock news just take it into my targets, like here. Boom. There's the NASDAQ buy side. So I can do that, right? Like I don't necessarily need to enter after the news, because you see, if you enter after the news, well, the move already happened. The move started down here before the news, and then the news is just going to be used to take it into your targets. So the good thing is, if you understand algorithmic price theory at a high level, you know what these news drivers are doing, you know when they're going to be used, why they're going to be used, and what's it going to be used for. So it helps take away the uncertainty, because most traders think of news and they just think of erratic price swings. Well, price is only erratic if you're not in the know. But if you are in the know, you understand these concepts, what the market's really doing, then the news is actually your friend. It's helpful for you. Why? Because it's going to deliver into your targets with speed. So I never have any fear entering before news, during news. Certain news, though. Again, don't get me wrong. I know you can. Well, he must mean CPI and non-farm payroll as well. No. CPI, non-farm payroll, and FOMC, those are news events that I would never enter before. Even trading them after, you have to be cautious just because the heightened volatility. But any other news driver outside of that, I have no problem entering beforehand, especially if I know what I'm looking for in terms of market structure, order flow, everything's lined up. Then there's no problem for me to enter ahead of the news, because it'll be a case just like this, where the news is just going to be used to take it into the equal highs. CD, looking at London on a 15-minute time frame, would that be London protraction? And now we're seeing a New York reversal. Yes. Yeah, I would look at it like that. Yeah. Well, no, I'd look at it as a London consolidation, New York manipulation. So London, looking at the 15-minute, I would look at it like London consolidated. So if London consolidates, and we expect New York to make the higher low of the day. So because we consolidated, I'm looking at it as New York reversal profile. So consolidation London, New York's going to do the manipulation and then make the higher low of the day, where we typically expect that in London. But if London doesn't do that, then we'll expect that in New York, and that's what we got here. So I'm looking at this as like London, or New York low, excuse me, to trade higher into the buy side. So key New York manipulation and making that key reversal. Gus, daily exercise is a must if you're a trader. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah. Because exercising so much more than just a strong, fit body. It also strengthens the mind as well. And as a trader, you have to have a very strong mind. Because if you have a weak mind in trading, then man, it's really difficult. It's really difficult. You gotta have a bulletproof psychology if you want to be a trader. Anita, I believe you can't get Top Step X yet, only by invitation, and they do some type of thing on their YouTube where people win it. Yeah, I think I've seen the same thing. I don't know. I haven't really been interested in it. I haven't looked at it personally myself, but I have seen people that have been interested and have signed up. I think it's like a wait list thing that you have to get on or something. I don't know much about it. Maybe someone here would be able to help you guys out. Grisha, once we reach equal highs and DXY is going higher, would that make you look for shorts? It depends. So what I'd have to see now is how we trade at those highs, right? So because we're at, in the daily chart, Grisha, because we're at equilibrium, my bias is more 50-50. I want to be bearish based off what I'm seeing. However, I want to see how we traded at that daily bullish order block, right? Because now that's a key level. If we hit that and then we aggressively expand to the upside, what that's telling me about institutional order flow is that it's bullish. So if it's going to remain bullish, it's going to show me at these key levels. So that's why I'm really just using today to get a feel for where we're likely to go. So if we hit the bullish order block and we continue expanding and we displace through that high, then that wouldn't be bearish, right? Just like when we go on Zoom, right? And I walk you guys through, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is the setup. Here it is. Boom. all those things align for me in my trade. Here, I don't have that same clarity because we're at 50% of the dealing range, so I have to wait for more information. So you can see once we hit the order block here on the daily chart, then I'm able to frame, a setup from the lows here into the highs. Like I'm able to see that. But now that we hit those highs, I'm neutral again. So I have to see how we trade at these highs, right? Do we just keep ripping and displacing up through the highs? Or do we hit the highs, reject, break down, and create a short scenario like I've walked us through every time we were on Zoom, like the last 3 times? So it's a matter of weighing out that experience and what it is that you're looking for. If we start to see a lot of strength on dollar, then that would give me additional confirmation that we'll likely see a rejection above those highs. So you see it's a matter of weighing out that information in that systematic way. So if dollar remains strong and we break down from here, then that would be a high probability short scenario, I guess, in line with the expectation for today. S&P is just consolidating below its 830 news high. It's a high that was formed on the news, 831. High speed, boom. Bagged for day, bagged for week. There you go, high speed. Love to see it, brother. Always look forward to your messages, man. Green for the day, computer locked. Going into the day happy, man. Good stuff. Love to see it, high speed. Alex, the daily order block aligns perfectly with the new day opening gap from Tuesday. Bounced off there, another algorithmic signature, exactly, Alex. And specifically with the order block for daily chart, think about what the order block is. It's the opening price. So the new day opening gap is also going to be the opening price on that daily chart. So you see how there's a convergence of a lot of these key PD arrays and these key levels in our trading. So you'll start to see that there is a lot of overlap in these levels, what we're looking for and whatnot there. So yeah, good observation. Alex, yes, makes perfect sense. Good deal. So right now markets are looking lethargic. So Nasdaq booked its high and now it's just chopping there. So would want to see S&P look to catch up and make that high. All right, so all the 3 averages are above their daily high except S&P. So Dow, Nasdaq, they've all traded above their respective high. Dylan, all I had to start the week was the volume imbalance as a reference for the whole week. Click set on January 31st, currently trading in. Good deal. Yeah, definitely key levels you can use. Set's very helpful again, and also using those volume imbalances because you're able to see volume imbalances that wouldn't typically be there. That's a good deal, man. What I'm using, the reason I don't have that specific level is because I would have so many volume imbalances on my chart. So the key ones that I want to use, I will write those key levels down, for instance, and then I will just relate to them in that regard. Because if not, then obviously my charts they'd be unlegible with all those key levels. But yeah, man, good reference point to use. So again, Nasdaq took out its high, now it's just hanging out there. So I'm gonna want to see how it trades at this key level. Soren, dollar up. Yeah, dollar is bullish. Matthew Davis, no unicorn set up this morning. What do you mean no unicorn, brother? I thought you got your breaker there. There's the breaker, and then they gave it on the 30-second. Ended up coming back down to the 1 minute though, so I guess you could have got your fill there. But yeah, maybe it wasn't in line with your rules or something. Denisha has that. Have to ask her. Yeah, sounds good. Matthew Davis, as an investor as well, have you bought any stocks on this overall dip? Yeah, so specifically with stocks, Matthew, I actually have not. And it's not because I'm, necessarily against the stock market, or I don't think it's going higher or it can't. It's just the underlying uncertainty right now. I don't want to touch the stock market right now with a 10-foot pole. And that's just because, especially with my own funds, just because there's so much uncertainty in the world right now. But that's me, so that's why as investors, as trading, it's an individual sport. What I'm doing may not be right for you. What you're doing may not be right for me. So it's all important to know, what your risk appetite is, what your goals are with your investment portfolio in that account, and then, aligning your goals with, what your investments are doing. And that would be the best way to go about it. For me personally, I'm not interested in being long stock. I've rode stock up for a long time, in the bull market we've been having. But as of recent, I don't have a lot of confidence in the stock market. So right now, I'm relatively neutral on that side from an investing standpoint. Long term, I'm long commodities, agriculture, and energy. So I'm significantly bullish on the commodity sector. So I am long there, but in stock specifically, no, I'm not interested in going long stock. Yeah, good to hear. Thanks. Yeah, there you go, Matthew. Gus, I noticed a big difference on days when I exercise and when I don't. Yeah, definitely makes sense. Huge difference, especially when you journal log. You'll start to get a feel for where you're at psychologically, right? Where are you at on your best days, on your not best days? Be able to weigh that out and find out what's the best for you. So that's a good deal. But exercise is something that just benefits everyone. In trading, you can't just level up as a trader. You also have to level up your mind, level up your physical, because if you're not bettering yourself, it's gonna be really hard to be a good trader because of just what it takes. The caliber of person you have to be a trader demands a lot from you. So reading, exercising, stuff like that's really good, especially if you want to be a high level trader. Julio, I'm gonna have to leave, but look at us just predicting the market over and over again. No hindsight, didn't enter with any real money because I wanted to enter the weekend green. There you go, brother. Good deal. What you on payout number 5, payout number 6, Julio? So you're killing it, brother. You know, enter the weekend green, enjoy it, man. You know, and like you said, it's nice when we can just sit here over live price action, call targets, and feel no rush, impulsiveness, or need to trade it, right? Because you know, once you know what you're looking for, man, these setups form every day, every single week, and whenever you can see setups and not take them, that's how you know you're ready, because you're not excited by it anymore. Good to hear, Julio. Great job, brother. And more importantly, love to see the results you're getting, and appreciate you sharing them. I took the market maker buy model before the news. Is that okay? You know, if it's in line with your rules, then that's all you, brother. Absolutely. If I was trading, I would have taken that. I would have put real risk behind that setup. Med yet fair play, volume imbalance aligned with the daily order block. There you go. All your teachings, man. Pleasure's all mine, brother. Glad to see you putting in the work and getting the results of med. You deserve it, brother. So watching ES, it's just consolidating below its high. Let me show you guys S&P. So S&P still has this key high here from the news, and now it's just consolidating here below that. So will we get up into there? I'm not sure. So yeah, see, it's just a relatively slow day. It's a Friday. Yes, there's news, but we're in the middle of the range. It's at equilibrium. So you see why the expectations are managed. And if my expectations are managed, you'll see that in the price action as well. Yeah, so dollar looking strong. Dollar's repricing into the buy side. Let's go to DXY. So if you guys will recall the hourly chart, take your attention to how we took out these lows here and then how it's showing bullish order flow on the daily chart. Now you see what bold blue up close candles expanding into its buy side. So what I'm going to be interested to see here for dollar is it reach into its high, and then I want to see how we trade at that high. So if we keep displacing up through it, just like we are showing strength, that's why we're having a hard time rallying on indices, right? So what do we see here like an NQ? It took out its high and then it was unable to do what? Keep going up through it. Why? Because dollar was breaking down, right? So because dollar, or not breaking down, excuse me, dollar's rallying. So because we have dollar rallying, that's going to make it hard for indices to rally. Not to say they can't, but it's just going to be more difficult for them to rally. So this could be creating the short setup here that Grisha was outlining here. Bullish dollar, we've traded up into buy stops and we've broken down. So that could be a potential short scenario if that would be within your rules, within your protocols. I just put all my money in Roth for SPY. I was trying to think of which one that was. I know there's so many different ones, and I've worked with different people. I've talked to different people in the past with like investing and whatnot. So I know there's a lot of different ones to keep in mind. But I know that's the one with the particular tax advantages. All right, so we had a key SMT. That's what I'm watching here with the ES. So we see Nasdaq took out this high, and E-mini S&P failed to take out that same high. So now we see a breakdown. So we've took out buy side. Dollar remains bullish, and we broke down shifted market structure. So that would, in my eyes, create a nice short setup to the downside. And you'd be able to target at least the range equilibrium, right? So from high to low, we have equilibrium. So you could just target that as like a low-hanging fruit target. Malik, exercise before or after? It depends. Depends on my schedule, what I'm able to do. Usually for me, it's after, but I usually do go for walks in the morning. Clears the mind, gets the mind right, focused, keeps it sharp to get on here and do battle in the markets every day. So, but just getting it in is the big thing. Just getting the exercise in is the big thing. So I'm gonna watch this fair value gap, see if it can send price lower. This wouldn't be anything I would trade. This would have been my setup here. So just watching this one. It could still remain bullish, just because ES still has its whoops. ES still has its equal highs. It may want to run up for that. So we'll see. So this is more of a neutral market condition for me. Based off what we're seeing in the averages. Nothing A plus. Would have liked to have seen NASDAQ or S&P, excuse me, sweep that high. But because NASDAQ did, it's enough to break down if it wants to. But it could also very well consolidate. So again, so I'm being just more conservative, more patient on a Friday. Carla, currently in consolidation within the monthly fair value gap on NQ. Great session. Thanks, Carla. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's hanging out at equilibrium on the daily chart, and it's also, again, a key monthly PD array as well. And so market's not moving much. That's another reason, again, why I wanted to also use today, just to get a better feel for what we're going to have going into the week and going into the next week. So it's just more of a relaxed, just tape reading session, taking it easy. Watching dollars. So dollars stabbing higher into its buy side liquidity. Yeah, so dollars just short of its high. Uh, Dimitro, enjoy your commentaries. Thank you for doing it. Yeah, absolutely. Glad it's helpful. I appreciate the feedback. Yeah, so based off what I'm seeing right now, I wouldn't like to short. I'm more neutral. That's right now, just based off S&P having its equal highs above. That's what makes me just more relatively cautious, because ES has its buy side up here. So I could want to run into that once more, is what I'm saying. Michael Batak, we need the cheap top X now. Yeah. Malik, do you do daily live streams? Not on YouTube. Not on YouTube. I know. Hey Dylan, with the unicorn setup, it took internal buy side and then it retraced, and it took short term low like a turtle soup. Didn't look like a textbook picture like we study. Yeah. So for this unicorn setup here, I think is the one you're talking about, which would be in line with your model. So yeah, that would be a yeah. So yeah, that'd be a valid setup here, because nothing's changed relatively. There's still those equal highs. It's still bullish, and then it showed that willingness to displace from that daily bullish order block, right? So those factors coming together still makes it high probability. And then one of the things that's helpful to do on the uh, go up a time frame. And so while you're trading the 1 minute chart, you're looking at your key PDRAs on the 1 minute. It's helpful to go up a time frame. So I'd also recommend looking at the 5 minute chart, and then you can see it here. So what looks like, weird price action or weird retracement on a 1 minute is just the market trading back down into the bullish order block on the 5 minute that we were looking at. So it's also really helpful to know what you're looking for, know the framework, and then look at the key high levels on a higher time frame above that, because it'll just help eliminate that confusion for you. Yeah, and that's the thing with these setups. That's a great point, that it's not always going to be a spitting image of each time. It's going to have the same characteristics. Like, for example, take like the ICT's 2022 model. It doesn't always look the same, but it's the general characteristics that are there, right? So what are the general characteristics? Don't look at it from like a textbook standpoint, like, okay, it needs to look cookie cutter every time. What's the logic? There's equal highs. It traded into a bullish order block at time of day. What time do we expect that Jew to swing? 9:30. Right? And then the logic that it's going to reprice here. That's what's paramount, not necessarily making it look like the cookie cutter like last time, because the algorithm's delivering the same logic, but is doing it in different contexts. So it's not going to always look the exact same. So it's not as much more about how it looks, but more about the underlying narrative. Why should it trade there? And we outlined that this morning, explaining that logic, looking at these key levels. So it's more about focusing on the logic and not necessarily just the pattern in the price action itself, because it's not necessarily about what it looks. It's about like what it's telling you it's doing. But again, if it wasn't within your rules or wasn't clear for you, then just wasn't your setup, and that's fine. Experience gleaned risk-free is also never a bad thing. So looking at the DXY chart, finally getting up into its buy-side liquidity pool here. So now that we've traded to that level, I want to see how we trade there. We've been watching this daily fair value gap since Sunday. So those of you guys that have been here, we've been watching this key level. So dollar's just been hanging out inside that level. The bodies have been respected, right? So the bodies are being respected inside this inefficiency, and it's showing support. So as long as we stay above that, we're bullish. Told you guys we don't need to trade into this fair value gap, and I'd prefer to see it not do so, because we're so close to. Because we're so close to the external range highs here, that I don't want to see it deeply retrace. It really shouldn't. I want to see it just trade higher from there. All right, so we'll go back to NQ. So yeah, strength on dollar from the bullish order block. And again, they just used the news as a catalyst to take it higher for what we were already looking for. So like looking at the news in and of itself, you noticed I wasn't scrambling around to go look at what Forex Factory is saying about the data at 10 o'clock, because the data is worthless. The data is a comic strip. It's a it's a joke, right? So we don't worry about the data. We're looking at the market like bank traders, interbank traders. Interbank traders, they have that data months in advance. It's just the public that's seeing it, right? So what we know is the data is already priced in. So it's already going to do what it was going to do, and the news is just the excuse to take it there. And when you understand that, you're ready to be an algorithmic price action trader. So I took your attention to this high before the news. How many of you guys, raise your hand, raise your hand in the chat if you guys think I was able to get to the news beforehand, or I'm an insider trader and I knew the data before they made it available. And that's how I was able to predict they're going to reprice it higher on the 10 o'clock news, right? It sounds ridiculous, but no, that's actually not what's happening. The algorithm's delivering price. It's indicating it's going higher. So at the time of day it's scheduled to do it, which is 10 o'clock news, it's going to be taken higher. So looking at the data, imagine looking at how quick these candles are printing, right? From 10 o'clock, from the time I called it to the buy side, in 30 minutes, it repriced that entire run. So, and I'm not saying fundamentals don't have a place, because, they have their place. But the technicals, or fundamentally, everything's in the technicals, right? So I'm able to know we're going to trade there, not because the data, not because the news, but because the market structure, the top-down analysis that I shared with you guys on Sunday. That's what's telling me we're going higher, not necessarily the data. The data is the distraction that most people get caught up in, whereas the real magic is in the open, high, low, and close. And if you know how to read these candlesticks, it's going to tell you what you need to know. And the retail's getting distracted with, oh man, the housing data come in hot. Because imagine trying to, at 10 o'clock, right? 10 o'clock right here, the data comes out. Imagine trying to get these reports and read them and compare them to other months. And the shit's already repricing. It's already there by the time you came to your conclusion about what the data's saying. So that even more goes to show how many institutions, banks were able to get that data at 10 o'clock, process all of it, see what it's going to do, and then make transactions for buying pressure to push it up into the highs. In 30 minutes? It's ridiculous, right? The markets don't work like that, right? It's already programmed to trade up there. And the news is just the excuses for why it's going to do it. So that the general populace can say, oh, you know what? That's why they took it up there. It was all that good housing data that came out. Or, you know, consumer sentiment must have been really good. You know, and it's nonsense. It's a distraction from what's actually happening. And that's the open, high, low, and close. So looking at NASDAQ, still remaining bullish, trading higher with dollar. So looking at S&P, man, S&P still straggling. Let me see. Yeah. So again, S&P was unable to take out its high here, and that's why I was more reluctant to want to go short, because it's not high. It's not a high probability short, because they left equal highs here. So while yeah, there's a market structure shift, it took out some buy side. The pattern's there. The logic isn't there in the sense that they're still equal highs. So it's not an overwhelmingly one-sided obvious market. So again, that's what makes me just more cautious to not want to take a short. Could you have taken a short, stop above the high on S&P? Yeah, I mean, if that's your model, if that's what you're trading. But just because it has those equal highs, that's what just again makes me a bit more reserved. And then here we have NASDAQ making a higher high. So weird market conditions right now. We have Dow selling off. So Dow's indicating it's weak. S&P chopping in the middle, and then NASDAQ making higher highs. So not the cleanest market conditions as of right now. Gus, the numbers are a joke. The market is too precise to argue this. Exactly. So anyone that would deny that either is lazy because they can't do their own research, or they just have a hard time seeing these concepts. Because, you know, once you see the precision that these algorithms are delivering under, you know, it's undeniable. You know, you either have to, well, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Yeah, it's undeniable. It's undeniable. But people that, you know, are just still, I guess, denying it or whatever, they're just not ready to make money. That's cool. You know, there's plenty of discords and groups and camps that don't make any money for you to hang out in. But if you want to make money, if you want to know what these markets are doing, then you definitely want to pull up a chair and roll your sleeves up and get to work. Because, man, this is it. So I agree with you, Gus. Good points. The banks are the charts. The correlation between bonds, currencies, and stocks will tell you everything. Exactly. And that's what I mean when I say that fundamentally, everything's in the technicals, because the technicals tell us what the currencies, what the bonds, what the stocks are doing. And if you know how to read that at a high level, then it gives you a lot of insight. Yeah, great points. Because like you said, the charts are the banks. Like what we're seeing in these charts is the order flow of these banks and institutions that move the market. And then when you understand that at a high level, man, that's powerful insight, my man. All right, guys, 10:45. I'll stay here with you guys till 11, see what we get. I want to see if we can break down from this high. It's just been consolidating for the past about 35 minutes. So I want to see if we can break down from here, and then if we do, we'll watch that price run, and then if not, we'll go ahead and get going. Dollar's still strong, so currency traders, hope we were able to bank on that analysis. Yeah, slow markets this Friday. And then as I was telling you guys on the daily charts, because we're at equilibrium. And that's why, again, my expectations are managed and more reserved. Justice, do you usually look at EU, GU during this session? When I'm trading, I'm just focused on stock indices. I just trade one market. So I'm a specialist, and I specialize in S&P and S&P and NASDAQ. I will look at currencies. I'll swing trade them if there's opportunity there. but for the most part, I'm just dialed in on the stock futures market. But the nice thing is, a lot of people ask me for euro and GU, or they'll tell me, hey, like in the comments, hey, look at euro and pound for us. All you have to do is just turn my dollar analysis upside down, and you'll know exactly what I'm looking for on euro and pound. I know there's additional insights that I can share about, which one's weaker, which one's stronger, as I usually do. So I'll probably start incorporating them back into the analysis. But simply put, if you just want a down and dirty bias for currencies, you just have to understand what I'm looking at for dollar, and it's going to be the opposite, right? Like, for example, let me show you. I know we have quite a few currency traders here. All right, so dollar, we were down here when we opened the session, and then we took our attention up here, right? So we time traveled in the future for dollar. So now let's go to euro. Well, actually, before we go to euro and pound, if dollar is trading higher into its buy side and it's seeking a premium array, algorithmically, what would we expect in the other currencies? They're going to seek their discount array, right? So let's see if it holds up. Is dollar working down into its equal lows? Absolutely. Or euro dollar? Yes, absolutely. Pound as well. So by knowing what you're looking for in the dollar as a currency, you're able to frame what's going on in your other assets as well. So by knowing what you're looking for on this asset, you can frame your setups on euro and pound. So hopefully that makes sense there. Justice, want to also make sure I'm attending to the Forex people here in the community. All right, so let's zoom out, look bigger picture here. So as we were looking at, we still have bullish market structure and order flow on the hourly chart, right? So that's why I was watching this daily bullish order block, because I wanted to see how we traded there. That was going to be an influential level for the session, as I shared with you guys. So once we hit that level, it displaced higher and showed what a willingness to reprice away from it. And then what do we have? Equal highs. Perfect. Right? If we're bearish, it's going to drop first. Hit the discount array, and then it's going to show its hand. And then we traded here. So what I wanted to see from here is we can trade up into the buy stops after trading that discount array. But now I want to see how we trade there, right? So it's not a matter of saying, okay, once we hit here, I automatically know what it's going to do next, right? It's a matter of I have to wait, be patient, and see what it's going to do, right? Because I can only see so many steps ahead, right? I don't have visibility 3 months into the future, but I can see that once we hit this order block and we displace, it's going to want to likely trade into those highs. But then once we get to those highs, because my daily bias isn't firm right now, because dollar's bullish, indices are rallying, it's just a little wonky right now, right? So once we get that run, that's it, I'm neutral, because I have to wait for more information to develop. And what that information looks like is how are we trading above these highs, right? Do we displace through it, trade another 100 points above it? That's going to indicate it's going to keep running. Whereas if we break down and we're unable to get above this high and really displace through it, that would indicate something entirely different. So whenever I'm forced to wait for more information and be patient, it's in these types of scenarios right here. But that doesn't mean we still can't see one-sided price runs that make sense. You just have to know how to manage the expectations accordingly. Strat King, Dylan, doesn't ICT say we don't reverse from consolidation? Don't typically. Yeah, well, usually it goes a consolidation into an expansion. So it's consolidation, expansion, and then reversal. So it always goes expansion, then consolidation. Justice, thank you, Dylan. Absolutely. So dollar still displacing higher. So the fact that we're seeing all that strength on dollar, you see why that would put the brakes on me wanting to go long indices. I wouldn't want to go long because it's going to have a hard time rallying. And then we'll see the same thing on S&P. You see how it's stuck? That's because we have dollar trading higher while indices are trying to trade higher. And when that's the case, indices are typically going to deliver high resistance liquidity runs, which is why, for example, just like I shared with you guys, or not you guys as the YouTube community, have so many, there are different user groups in mind. I'm trying to keep in mind who's what. With the mentorship group, as you guys know, we expect high probability to occur when the markets are moving directionally, right? We'd want to see dollar higher and indices lower. But you see how indices are also trying to trade higher at the same time dollar is? and you see what we have, a high resistance liquidity run. You see how certain scenarios bring about certain factors, right? So if this condition here is indicating it's going to be high resistance because we don't have that market symmetry that we typically expect. So this would pump the brakes on me wanting to go long. I wouldn't want to go long up here because dollar's telling me it's reaching higher, right? So when you understand how to relate that information to each other, it's really helpful in giving you insight and forward prognostication. Anita, hit that like button, guys. Absolutely. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Anita, for the reminder, and please do. Helps us out greatly. Like I said, I could have been on the highway on my way to the beach right now, but instead hanging out with the YouTube group. So show some love. Don't ask for any money. It's free. But do hook a brother up. Hit that like button, and as Anita said, if you appreciate the lives, comment on the video. Helps us out as well. Let us know your thoughts and if it was insightful to you. So right now, we're going into 11 o'clock here in about 7 minutes. We're lethargic. We have equal highs. Dollar's bullish. I'm neutral on this market. So I don't have anything that I can point to as of right now. So I'm probably going to close this one out. Any further questions from anybody? I'll take a few questions. I've scheduled a few more minutes before I got to get going to my next obligation. Silk Touch Trading, day off work. This is more valuable. God bless, brother. Absolutely, man. Good deal. Take care, man. All right, so based off what I'm seeing, S&P may want to reach up into its highs, but because dollar's rallying, I wouldn't buy it, so I'm patient. All right, Reaper, gold long term. Yeah, let's take a look at gold long term. So for the signal group, guys, for right now, I haven't made an executive decision yet. I'm in the process of doing that, but right now I'm actually in the process of winding that down. So with regard to the signal group, I have some other obligations I have to take care of, attend the mentorship clients. So that's not anything that I'm in the process of pushing or growing right now. Really taking it easy, winding that down. But for those of you guys that do want to trade live, that do want daily market reviews, daily pre-market analysis, and weekly outlooks, we will be opening our community in the future for that. So you guys will have all that at your disposal, be able to work with myself, my team of analysts, what we're looking at, what we're expecting. But we'll open that up come this summer. So you guys will get more information on that as we move forward. So it won't just be signals. It'll actually be live trading and education and everything we make available in the future. And then again, that'll come in the summer. So that's where we're at with that right now. More updates on that in the future. But I know a lot of you guys have been reaching out to me, DMing me about education, live trading and whatnot. And I'll have much more information on what we're going to be doing and what that's going to be looking like moving forward. So I got you guys covered there. Reaper, gold long term. And to the moon, brother. Let's take a look at gold. Yeah, so gold's been extremely bullish. And again, that's because everything going on in the world, a lot of money's piling into the gold markets at high levels, right? Not just, mom and pops buying gold. There's gold that's being bought at a high level. It's because of things that are going on in the world right now. People want to put money in what's considered a safe haven asset, right? Why is it a safe haven asset? Because gold's been used as money for as long as time, right? So that's why people, whenever there's uncertainty around currencies, central bank currencies, collapse of the dollar, different things going on, people put money in safety, right? So that's why we're seeing the safety trade. So there's real fundamental reasons why gold's being taken higher, which is what I'm articulating here. So the technicals are reflecting, wartime events, what's going on and whatnot. So what I'm watching for gold in the charts is watch this weekly fair value gap. If we're unable to get below it, gold is still bullish. Short and sweet daily chart. We are overextended on the upside, but that doesn't mean the market just can't keep going higher, especially when the market's at all-time highs. So what I would watch here is we did break a short-term low. So watch this daily fair value gap. So gold traders, watch this daily fair value gap. That'll tell you what you need to know. If we remain in the lower portion and we sell off from here, and that's bearish, you can look at this range and expect it to trade into a discount. or equilibrium. If we get above it and we close above this daily fair value gap, then we have these equal highs and we're likely going to keep reaching higher. So watch the daily fair value gap for gold traders. That'll be an influential level for you guys moving forward. Seems like the weekly and daily are conflicting for gold analysis. That's astute observation, Matthew. Exactly. And that's one of the difficulties of trading markets at all-time highs as well, is that there is that underlying difficulty. So we don't want to try to short a market that's at all-time highs, obviously. But you also can't get in the perma bull mindset that it's always just going to go higher. So there's a balancing act that's required as a trader, but especially as a trader if you're trading an asset at all-time highs. So naturally that would bring more conflicting analysis and just make it slightly more difficult. So good observation. Jermaine, thank you, and I appreciate your time. Love the insights. Awesome. Glad it's helpful for you, brother. All right, guys. So I have details on the rest. Silk Touch, I have details on that moving forward, but like I said, we'll have everything reasonably priced. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for me. Want to take a look, man. Dollar is flying. So yeah. So again, as I said, we wanted to see how we trade at this high and how we trading at the high, right? It's aggressively ripping through it. So currency traders, man, you guys bank today. So looking at this high here, running through that, we have these equal highs over here. Will we get there today? Could, but would rather do that next week. Give me a nice trade setup. But looking at these highs next for dollar going higher, especially how we trade above this high, right? We displace through it. So that's telling me it's reaching higher. So we're going to see higher prices on dollar, and that should put pressure on indices, but it's not always like a magic one-to-one, right? So strength in dollar, but we also have indices rallying as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. It's a Friday. We were able to tape read a little setup into the equal highs. Hope you guys were able to find this one insightful. Shared some insights on funded accounts, risk management and whatnot. So hope you guys were able to get something from this one before we head off into the weekend. So with that, guys, that's going to be it for me. Man, I was trying to short 4 times on euro and cut them due to high resistance. Yeah, I got to know how to manage those high resistance conditions because it can be difficult, definitely. So studying high resistance conditions, knowing how to manage yourself, as a trader there accordingly, is the best thing, because there's subtle rules and subtle details in managing low resistance trades and high resistance trades. So something that may be able to help you out there. FVG trader, Grisha, thank you, Dylan. Enjoy your weekend. Will do, Grisha. You do the same. Alrighty, guys, that's going to be it for me on this one, going into the 11 o'clock hour. Again, hope you guys found this one insightful. Looking for higher prices on dollar and indices, all that. We'll weigh that out on Sunday for the usual live stream. Not sure if you guys can hear that, getting the grass cut right now. But like I said, guys, I'm not sure if you guys could hear that. They were riding by with the lawnmowers. But I'll be live on Sunday. Let you guys know what the expectations are, what we're looking at going into the coming week. And it'll be just lovely, right? So have a good weekend, guys. Take care. Stay safe. Good luck and good trading. Take care, everyone.